Hey guys, it's me, Pokemon Jaybear HD, and today we have week 3 of the Competitive Showdown League Majors with our matchup against Todd and the Chicago Bouffalants, where we have played multiple times before, and I want to say that he's actually beaten me every single time, but the last season of this league was the last time we played, and at least I remember being salty about it, so I don't remember if it was like a crit or... I know he won a couple speed ties with like Chandelure versus Dragonite or something like that. I have a, very hazy memory of it, but I know he did beat me. I wasn't happy about it because I know I had a good chance to win, but then something didn't quite go my way. So obviously we do want to avenge that. However, we do have a tough hill to climb on that, since his team consists of Mega Scizor, Tapu Koko, Dragonite, Amoonguss, Slowking, Emboar, Ambipom, Aerodactyl, Sableye, Sandslash, Kangaskhan, and Gothitelle, with the Z users being Koko, Dragonite, and Aerodactyl, and my team is unchanged, being the Megalopunny, Celesteela, Tapu Fini, Nidoqueen, Serperior, Jolteon, Zoroark, Delphox, Lycanroc, Mesprit, Scyther, and Gastrodon, with the Z users being Celesteela, Delphox, and Lycanroc. And so, yeah, the reason I say this is such an uphill climb, especially, is that, so he has, Koko, Electric Terrain, plus he has, like, Emboar and Ambipom that, and I think even Kangaskhan, that all get, Dragonite doesn't get the boost, but, they all get electric moves, which kind of dominates my defensive mons for the most part. In that, Celesteela and Tapu Fini being my main two are, just kind of taken on in that sense. And then as far as Gastrodon comes into play, Emboar still gets Grass Knot, Ambipom gets Seed Bomb, so it's just and Koko gets Grass Knot, so it's the coverage of Electric and Grass kind of destroys a lot of what I have, so that's gonna make it very difficult, but I'm gonna, do what I can, and so I will get into the first mon being my Nidoqueen, which is, just slightly mixed defenses. Stealth Rock, Earth Power, Ice Beam, Flamethrower covers the team, and is really my only electric switch in, so that's gonna put a lot of pressure on it, and I don't know if it's gonna be special or physical Koko, so I just kind of hedged my bets and went with mixed defenses, and yeah, it's my only real switch in, so yeah, that's not great, but it is, what it is, and should be able to take, some hits from most things and just dish out a little bit of damage, but obviously his defensive mons, like Amoonguss and Slowking, don't really care. They can just switch in on this freely. But hopefully Jolteon here can help with that a little bit, being max speed to speed tie the Koko and Aerodactyl, since obviously if I go first I can always Volt Switch out against Koko, and if I go first against Aerodactyl, then obviously that's a knockout. So Expert Belt, take advantage of his Electric Terrain and Volt Absorb, so I can not just get swept by electric moves, hopefully, but Koko has other moves that can do a lot of damage, so I'm not, and he'll probably bring U-turn for momentum anyway, so not like this is really a switch in, it's just a hopefully take advantage of the terrain and dish out damage, since the electric, ghost, and ice hits most things, barring, like Amoonguss very hard. So next up we have Lopunny with Return, Fire Punch, Power Up Punch, Fake Out, Fire Punch, because stupid max defense Mega Scizor actually doesn't get 2-way KO'd by High Jump Kick, and honestly, Return hits most of the team pretty hard, so I didn't feel the need to run High Jump Kick, since, it helps with Sableye, but I don't really see that coming, so I'm not as worried about it. So everything else kind of just gets hit hard enough by return anyway. Then enough speed to outspeed the Coco and Aerodactyl. Then next up we have Specs Delphox with Fire Blast, Psychic, Shadow Ball, Hidden Power Ice, which this and enough speed to outspeed the what is it called, the Kangaskhan. And yeah, this should, nukes anything, but the only issue is getting it in on a free switch. So if I can do that, then it can, if I pick the right move, it nets me a kill, so that's great. But so if he brings fat stuff, that should really help me break, especially the Slowking and Mungus core, because Specs Shadow Ball should be doing quite a hefty amount. Then next up we have Lycanroc, which I know he has a Mega Scizor, but I don't care. I want this to beat the Mega Scizor, since obviously Celesteela is obvious and he wouldn't want to stay in, so I'm not going to really flamethrow it unless it's on a switch in. So this is my designated way to beat Mega Scizor. But Berry helps me take the Bullet Punch no matter what set he is, and +2 Fire Fang will always OHKO it. So again, enough speed to outspeed Kangaskhan. And then last up, we have the Celesteela, Heavy Slam, Flamethrower, HP Ice, hits a good chunk of the team, Leech Seed for the fat stuff, Wakan Berry since electric moves are a problem. And yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory, just mixed defenses. I mean, it's not great in this matchup, but it makes sure I don't get swept by hopefully Dragonite or Mega Scizor. Like, that's the main stuff. It just makes sure I don't get set up and swept on. So hopefully that can prevent it, and hopefully we can come out with a win. I'll be back with team preview. And we are back with team preview, and my opponent has decided to bring the Slowking, Mega Scizor, Tapu Koko, Emboar, Aerodactyl, and Ambipom. Team preview is very scary here, just because yeah, the Ambipom and the Emboar and the Koko are really all huge threats to this team, and it's definitely going to be a struggle to win this game. And honestly, it's going to be, I do need to make good predictions on Todd, but I have not really been able to do that in the past, so it's definitely not looking good. But I lead off with the Jolteon just to make sure you can't just electric spam from the beginning, and then he it does a bajillion, so that's not good. I can just Volt Switch out, go into my Celesteela. I'm not sure what he's going to do, but he goes for Tail Slap, so it does minimal damage. So that's great. I don't want to mess around here with this, so he goes for U-turn as I'm going for Heavy Slam, but he does go into the Emboar, unfortunately, and now I have to sack something because I don't have a Fire Switch in. So I go into Nidoqueen, hoping I can take at least one, but I can't. So down goes Nidoqueen, which was my only real switch in, and now my only switch into Tapu Koko. So this game is becoming just so much harder, and gets Lycanroc in to Stone Edge, he stays in, gets a kill, comes into Scizor, not the time to Fire Fang him, so just gonna go into the obvious Celesteela as he predicts that with the U-turn, gets in Koko. I have to go to Jolteon, I can't let him electric spam, this is not the time to use the berry, as he just goes for U-turn again. So now my Jolteon's pretty much dead, as he can just go into this, go for the fake out. But I do have the Celesteela. He went for U-turn last time, so I think he might not have something for me, but he goes for Thunder Punch, and I went for Leech Seed on this turn, which is the worst possible thing to happen, since now Thunder Punch under terrain definitely kills me here after seeing that Wakan Berry. So I'm gonna have to switch out to my Jolteon, but he predicts this, goes into Koko, and then he wins a speed tie getting off the U-turn, so at least I assume it's speed tie, unless he was scarfed. I don't actually know. So I have to go into my Lopunny in response to the Ambipom to get him out, as I do go for the fake out, hoping that he would stay in, but you know, obvious switch that I didn't take advantage of. He goes for a Psychic as I switch out into my Celesteela, since it doesn't really do much anymore, so I'm just gonna Heavy Slam just to gauge some damage and, you know, just do something to it, since I know he's probably likely to switch out, so Leech Seed didn't really do much for me. Now I can go into Lycanroc. I'm gonna go for the Swords Dance because I don't think he wants to sack this yet. And in comes the Scizor, which now I can Fire Fang. Goes for the Bullet Punch. Does a good amount of damage, but obviously doesn't kill. Fire Fang comes out. I hit it, thankfully. I kill the Mega Scizor. And glad that worked, but this game is not looking good. I switch out to Delphox to see what this is. It wild charges me. I'm dead. So that's unfortunate, because that was my best way to get rid of the Slowking. So now I have to go into Lopunny. I go for a turn in case he wants to switch in, but he does switch out, which if I went for the power-up punch, that would have been so much better, obviously. And so now goes into Slowking. I go for return, and now here's what really bites me with that power-up punch non-play, is that if I had returned with that, I wouldn't have necessarily killed, but as he Trick Rooms up, I would have actually been in range for at least for the Lycanroc to kill it. And so if I was able to do that, then actually, because of Trick Room, like if he allowed me to do that, if I hit 2 Stone Edges, barring any sashes, I actually just win with Lycanroc. So like that's, you know, it's a possibility. However, also doing the calcs later, just a standard Coco, it's a roll in his favor, so at least it gave me a chance to win with Lycanroc at the end. But you know, since I didn't power up punch on that turn, I had 0 chance. So Trick Room Slowking beats me, which, looking at what I brought, it destroyed my whole team anyway. So I was, you know, good chance to lose to that, and good game to Todd. He definitely deserved to beat me there. It was, you know, unfortunate that I was unable to predict him a lot of the time beyond the Lycanroc killing the Mega Scizor. And so definitely he was in my head a lot more than I was in his, so he prepped and played very well and deserved that win. So that's unfortunately our first loss, but hopefully we can bounce back next week, because we are, what, 2-1 plus 3, so hopefully we don't fall any further. Thank you for watching. Bye!